Hello and welcome back. Another interesting budget product today. IEMs, in-ear monitors. Now, when we were with the band, we used to use on stage those Behringer P16 personal mixers, and then we had a rack full of Sennheiser IEM systems, and stick them in and away you go. I mean, I had actually moulded ears myself. A couple of the others just used to use the ones with those spongy foam things on. They actually worked amazingly well. Had very little trouble with them, and you got decent quality audio in your ears, and it really helped with when the stage volume went down and all that sort of stuff. But also, you know, people nowadays are doing things on stage where they just want to hear their tracks and things like that. And the Sennheiser ones are fairly expensive, as most sort of decent products are. And I found these from China, a transmitter, a receiver, for the grand total of about £32 is what I actually paid for it, I think, in the end. 32 quid for a receiver and a transmitter. They're 2.4 gigs, so they use Wi-Fi. They've got a number of different Wi-Fi channels on them, so you can actually have multiples of these set up on stage. And they're rechargeable, so they don't use sort of expensive batteries. And they seem to come with all the bits and pieces you need. So I gave them a go. I mean, the first thing I did was they come with these IEM headphones, and they actually look pretty decent. They look, you know, they look solid. They're pretty nice looking. They're a little bit designed after the Garwoods, I think. There's definitely a sort of a similar system, and they've got those little soft ear molds there that you just basically squidge in your ear and they work. Well, they sound horrible. The first thing I did was played some music through them and discovered that they're very tinny and horrible sounding, and I certainly wouldn't want to wear those for any length of time. I mean, they're probably, you know, £1 worth of headphones. So I sort of expected that, so it wasn't too much of a shock. So what did I get? Well, I ordered some black ones, and of course what turned up were white. Rechargeable, comes with the USB-C charging cable, so you can charge them up. A little socket on the very bottom for the charging. Both of them feature the same thing. There's a little flap. Left hand button is a set button, and then you use the others to go up and down the menus, or when it's in its normal mode, those buttons do an up volume and a down volume. Oddly, the receiver is fairly straightforward, and it's just got the normal earphone socket in the top, 3.5mm stereo. The little bit on the top is the antenna for the Wi-Fi. One button on the front, and when you push it, you push the button in, hold it, and then a display appears. And the display just says on this particular one, tells me the battery's about half full, tells me it's on channel 01. Transmitter is very similar, same case, apart from it's got an input and a loop through output. So you can plug something into this and it will go to another piece of kit. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I can't quite think what it would be. I don't think I would use it for anything, but it is possible to do. It comes with a 3.5 stereo to 3.5 stereo cable. So a 3-circuit 3.5. So I guess the simple thing to do, you could plug that into a computer, you plug it into a pad, and you could play the music through that. Now, of course, in most cases, you're actually going to want to connect it to your mixer output, because you'll want a blend of a backing track or whatever the other instruments are on stage with your voice. Now, the one thing I was a little bit concerned about with these was latency. I think most people who use digital gear are quite used to the fact that digital gear also means the constant delay that occurs when you go from analog to digital and digital back to analog. And there is latency on here, but it's sufficiently small that when you're singing into a microphone, the delay between your voice and hearing it back in your ears is very short. I can live with it. It's short enough that you don't perceive it as a sort of separate signal. There's just, I'm guessing, around about 10, 11 milliseconds, something like that. So you can hear it just, but I can work with that sort of delay. And if you're using ordinary audio interfaces on your system at home to do your recordings, you're probably fiddling about with delays of that kind anyway, so you're probably quite used to it. Audio quality, if you play music through it from a track, it actually sounds pretty good. Considering the silly price of these things, you know, you could plug that into one piece of kit, that into another piece of kit, and the distance I've been able to do reliably here is about 10 metres, 11 metres. I got a little bit further away than that and then it became unreliable and dropped out. But certainly the space of a stage is no problem for it at all. I also tried putting my hand over the top. No problem that I could hear at all. So I couldn't manage to make me drop out just by sort of, you know, covering the pack with my hand. As soon as I got to more than about 12 metres, then there were the occasional dropout. But that said, that's probably about the same distance that you get with an analogue system. So I have to say, I'm quite impressed with this. For the price, with a few cables, you could get yourself up and going pretty quickly. It would have been nice if there was more facilities for sort of doing a rack mount version. The only ones I can find at the moment are sort of portable to portable. So you have to sort of stick a cable in that and then plug it into your mixer or whatever you're going to do. But for the money, I can wholeheartedly recommend this. I think they're rather nice. The in-ears that I tested it with are these Shure 215s. I've got a few pairs of these. They're quite nice and I quite like the tone of these. So these work extremely well with it. And I, of course, paid more for these than I did for the entire system. It's ironic, isn't it? But with these, if you play music through it, it sounds pretty good. It is quite bright. That's why with the nasty headphones that come with it, I think the brightness of the system plus the brightness of cheap headphones made it a bit sort of brittle at the top. Not particularly nice to wear for a long time. I was quite impressed with these because the system noise is also quite low. And the receiver pack has got plenty of volume, so you could pretty well drive even headphones that need a bit of oomph to get them going. So all in all, that works quite nicely. That's a quick video for you. See you on the next one then. Look after yourselves. Take care.